We spend our entire lives trying to hold on to things. We press flowers between the pages of heavy books to keep their color. We take photographs to freeze a smile that will fade in a second. We build monuments of stone hoping that something of us will remain when our breath is gone. It is the oldest human fear, the fear that everything we love will eventually turn to dust. But there is a whisper, carried by the wind that blows through the cracks of the world, about a place where this fear does not exist. They speak of a sanctuary hidden behind a wall of mist that never clears, a place where the sun hangs forever in the golden amber of the late afternoon, refusing to set. They call it the Garden of the Still Breath. And the legend says that once you step through its gates, you will never have to say goodbye to anything ever again. But be warned, a goodbye is the only thing that proves we were ever alive. The entrance to the garden is not found on any map. It appears only to those who are consumed by a grief so heavy it anchors them to the earth. You might find the gate at the bottom of an overgrown ravine, or hidden behind a waterfall that flows upwards. It is a gate of wrought iron, twisted into shapes of vines and thorns that look so realistic, you expect them to bleed if you touch them. When you push it open, the first thing that hits you is the smell. It is not the fresh, green scent of a living forest. It is a perfume so sweet, so thick and cloying, that it feels like inhaling warm syrup. It smells of lilies, heavy roses, and jasmine, but without the underlying note of damp earth that usually grounds them. It is the scent of perfection preserved in a jar. Inside, the visual beauty is enough to bring you to your knees. The grass is a vibrant, impossible emerald green, and every blade stands perfectly straight, unbent by wind or footstep. The trees are heavy with fruit, peaches, pomegranates, apples, that glisten with a permanent dew. They never rot, they never fall. They hang there, heavy and swollen, suspended in the moment of their peak ripeness forever. The flowers are the true masters of this realm. Fields of them stretch out towards a horizon that is painted in unmoving clouds of violet and gold. But if you look closely, if you lean in to touch the velvet petal of a red rose, you will feel the truth. It is not soft. It is not cool. It feels firm, almost like skin, or perhaps like wax. It does not tremble in the breeze because there is no breeze here. The air is stagnant, holding its breath, preserving the stillness like a museum display. In the center of this suffocating paradise stands the gardener. He is not a man of flesh and blood, or perhaps he was, a very long time ago. Now he looks like a part of the landscape, his skin the texture of birch bark, his hair the color of dried moss. He moves with an agonizing slowness, as if the air around him is made of water. He carries a watering can, but he pours nothing. There is no need for water here, for nothing thirsts, nothing grows. To grow is to change, and to change is to move one step closer to death. The gardener's job is not to nurture, but to prevent. He walks among the statuesque lilies and the frozen orchards, checking for the slightest sign of a brown edge, the tiniest hint of a wilting leaf. If he finds one, a rebellion of nature trying to follow its natural course, he touches it with his wooden fingers, and the decay reverses. The leaf turns green again. The flower lifts its head. The cycle is broken. The death is stolen. There is a tragedy in his eyes that is older than the stones. The legend tells us that he was once a mortal man who loved someone, a woman, a child, or perhaps the world itself, so much that he could not bear the thought of loss. He prayed to the ancient spirits of the deep earth, begging for a way to stop the wheel of time. He asked for a place where beauty would be safe. The spirits, in their cruel twisting of wishes, granted him this garden. They gave him exactly what he asked for. They gave him a world without winter, a world without endings. And in doing so, they took away the only thing that gives beauty its value, its impermanence. Imagine standing by the stream that winds through the garden. The water is crystal clear, revealing every pebble on the bottom. But it does not flow. It does not babble over the rocks. It sits there, thick and viscous like liquid glass, reflecting the unchanging sky. There are fish suspended in the depths, their scales shimmering like jewels. But they do not swim. They hang in the water, their gills motionless, trapped in a beautiful paralysis. There are birds in the trees, colorful creatures with plumage of sapphire and ruby. Their beaks are open as if in song, but no sound comes out. To sing is to release a melody that must end. To silence the end, the song must never be sung. The silence of the garden is not peaceful, it is heavy. It presses against your ears. It is the silence of a held breath that never exhales. Visitors who find this place often weep with joy at first. They see the eternal youth of the flowers, the preservation of the light, and they think they have found heaven. They sit on the perfect grass and wait for the peace to fill them. But as the hours stretch into an endless afternoon, a creeping unease begins to settle in their stomachs. They realize that they are not hungry, yet they are not full. They realize that they are not tired, yet they are not awake. They look at the fruit that never rots, and they feel a strange revulsion. Without the threat of decay, the fruit is just a shape. Without the coming of winter, the summer is just a cage of heat. They begin to miss the falling leaves. They begin to crave the sight of a wilted petal, turning brown and curling into itself, returning to the soil to feed the roots for the next spring. One day, a traveler brought a single dry, dead leaf into the garden, caught in the cuff of his coat from the world outside. When it fell onto the perfect emerald grass, the reaction was violent. The garden shuddered. The flowers seemed to lean away from the intruder. The gardener rushed over, moving faster than he ever had, terror etched into his wooden features. He stared at the dead leaf not with disgust, but with a desperate, starving longing. For a moment, he reached out, his hand trembling, wanting to touch the fragility of it, wanting to touch something that had completed its journey. But the magic of the place was too strong. Before he could touch it, the soil swallowed the dead leaf, hiding the evidence of mortality, erasing the beautiful flaw. The gardener let out a sound, a dry, cracking rattle that might have been a sob, and returned to his endless, pointless watch. The lesson of the garden is a hard one to swallow, especially for those of us who have lost much. We think we want eternity. We think we want to save the things we love from the ravages of time. But the garden shows us the truth. A flower that cannot die is not a flower. It is a decoration. A day that cannot set is not a day. It is a blinding spotlight. Life is not a state of being. It is a movement. It is the flow of water, the crumbling of stone, the fading of light. It is the very fact that things end that makes them precious. If you could hold a sunset forever, you would stop looking at it. If you could keep a moment frozen, it would lose all its warmth. So, if you ever find yourself walking through a mist and you smell a perfume that is too sweet, too perfect, turn back. Do not walk through the iron gate. Do not seek the place where nothing dies. Instead, go home. Go to your garden where the weeds fight with the roses. Go to the forest where the leaves are rotting into rich, dark, black earth. Watch the sun dip below the horizon and let the darkness come. Feel the chill of the wind. Embrace the endings. For in the garden of the living, things must die so that they can be born again. The falling petal is not a tragedy, it is a promise. A promise that time is moving, that the story is continuing, and that you, with all your scars and all your goodbyes, are beautifully, painfully, wonderfully alive.